the other day, I have 4 art students currently, and one of them is a 9-year-old girl, and the rest of them are older, like my age or a little younger. And it was the first day where I taught all of the older ones except for the 9-year-old. So I had 3 lessons in one day and an hour with each person. And I could see, having them all in one day, which I hadn't done before, I could observe their own little nuances and how they, were approaching just learning art and have it all together in, a single container of a day, which is pretty neat. And I think the 9-year-old is the best of them all in terms of how she learns, and being able to, she hardly says anything. She says like, yeah, do you understand? Yeah. Are you having fun? Yeah. But the way she follows instructions and stuff, it just seems like she gets things quicker than my other students.
Even little boy, he knows when the girl needs an eraser before she needs it.
And then she's got a younger brother who was just walking, and he'd like walk between us and wouldn't say anything, but just like be this just presence of energy, just like bright presence just existing and just being there and not having any other place to be, just pure, this is where I'm,
fairness,
this is where I'm here, I'm here, and that's where I am. And then I asked her to erase something, and then she didn't have the eraser anymore, and I thought she did, and then I picked it up, and then as I started to bring it, he grabbed it on my hand before I even like really brought it over there, and he gave it to her, and it's like he just intuitively knew that. I don't even think he could understand me. I don't know, but it's just like,
yeah. When they stare, a kid is just like looking. Yeah. It's like they're not blank. They're not like deadpan stare. Like
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's stuff going on, and when a kid does it, it's almost guaranteed that they're absorbing everything. When adults do it, every once in a while they're absorbing things, but a lot of the times they're thinking about things, or just their imaginings are more catered to things that they have to do.
Yeah, it's more destination oriented or goal oriented, or like this kid was just here, like I don't know, there's no time even involved. It's not like I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. It's just existence is happening, and here is, Yeah,
and then that absorption is in full capacity because there's nothing blocking it. Like if I look at a few academic people, like there would be the guy we played D&D with, or tabletopping with, and there's a girl that tabletopped with us like last year, and they're both in academia, and what would go on in the guy's head was basically that goal-oriented stuff of like, I need to edit this weekend, am I going to make it on time, I'm too busy here, it's like, does this work? It's all that stuff. And then the girl's was mind was like making all these associations between her tasks of like, I don't know if this is going to work, right, if I have good enough credentials here, and I'm like, it's not really a goal, like she doesn't have to do anything, it was more like what all of her concerns are, and what I need to do to deal with my concerns, so I don't get concerned. Like so, those were their mentalities. But when we were just playing the game, they really got into it. You could see they go into a deadpan stare, and they're present, and that's the deadpan stare of a child. It's like they would end up childlike at the table for random moments throughout it, like the few-hour session or whatever, where like they end up watching, and I wouldn't know how much they're picking up. But then they know exactly everything that happened. And like in those moments, that's when, as the game master of like, running the whatever, they wouldn't even have to take notes. And then a few sessions later, they would know what happened in those moments so precisely because they were so there. And like, that's the way a child almost always is, because they're not, what do I need to do later? Or so I don't have to worry about things, or what do I need to worry about so I can do things later? Like those two extremes of the things of the world that make us worry, that so we have to figure out what to do and figure out what to do so we don't worry. That is like the clustery ball that most of the shrouding over top of like the guy who went to go teach preschool is like, I gotta do this task of going to preschool to get enough credentials to pass my school, all this other stuff. And then he's like, I am just going to be where I am because that's where I am.